Hello everyone, welcome to module 7 where you're going to we're going to learn how to work on different data sets. So what are the exercises that we are going to cover in this module? First, you know how to read the CSV files. Most of the data um, will be in the CSV format or in a row and column format, right? So how to read a data set, which will be in the CSV file, how to retrieve a particular rows. We're already familiar with this head and tail method. To get the other information about the data set, how to do the data manipulation types, data manipulation with the column name, and how to describe numerical data, how to fetch the numerical data information, statistical information, how to describe, how to work on the categorical data information that is not numerical, non-numerical information. Okay, so what are the other associated methods that will help us to work on both this non-numerical data and numerical data? How to create new column, how to override the values in the column, okay, and how to do the filtering by using the built-in methods available, how to locate the data, the values using LOC and ILOC method that you're already familiar. Okay, so this module is kind of a small, comparatively small module, but it's going to be useful because you're going to get the overall picture on how to work on data set. Okay, so let's get started. So you can find CSV file that I have uploaded in the folio. Okay, it's called titanic.csv. So you have to download that CSV file and keep it in the folder, in your current folder, which you have this file, this Jupyter notebook file. Okay, so let's first import pandas because what most of the manipulation method that we are going to use are from pandas. So let's import pandas as PD. Now to save this CSV file, let's create a file handler to save CSV file which has our data set. Okay, so Titanic, this data set is a popular one called Titanic data set. So most most of the learning exercises which helps you to learn data manipulation, data analytics. There are a few popular data sets that will help you to learn different dimensions of data analysis. So Titanic dataset is one of those data sets. Okay, it's like a benchmark data sets. So let's take that to do analysis using pandas. So you know the method, read CSV methods. I'm just using the tab to pick that method from the built-in methods, and the name of the file is going to be Titanic. Let's say titanic.csv file, reading that CSV file. Okay, and let's see what is there in this. In the file folder, file handler that we have created, you can see that it has 891 rows and 12 columns. This whole data set has 891 rows. Okay, so let's extract the first 10 rows. You can see by general, when you generally specify the variable like this, it will just fetch the first 5 and last 5 like this. If you just want the first 5, then all you need to do is, you are already familiar with the head method, right? So you can use the head method. Okay, and if you want to specify a particular number of rows, you can say 10, 5, 10. By default, it will just retrieve 5, but how many rows that you want, you can pass it as a parameter. Okay, maybe I will change the name to Titanic so that I don't need to spend, like every time I don't need to type. Okay, so I just change the name to Titanic. Okay, now I'm going to change the name. I'm going to just pull last 10 rows. Okay, by using the tail method, you can pull last 10 rows from the data set. So what if you want to put something in between, like not as a tail, without using tail or head? if you want to retrieve the rows in between rows, then you can say 10, 20. So between 10. So what is after 10 and before 20? That indexing. Okay. So that indexing. So you can just retrieve any kind of indexing values you can give. Okay. For example, 100 in 151. You can see from 100 to 150. Just give, okay, all the rows. Just putting it because the PDF will be long, that many rows. Okay, then you're already familiar with the D types parameter, right? The D type parameters dot tab D type. D type. So what it would give, if you recall, it will give you the data type of each column. There are 12 columns, so data type of each column will be given as a table like this. Okay, now we're going to see how we can do the data manipulation based on the data type. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this D types, D types, where we're going to pick this object alone. Okay, we are just going to pick this object data type alone. What we are going to do, it will be there in the D types. Okay, so we're picking that, and then with this D type, the array is going to be wherever we have the object data type, we're going to find the index of that. Okay, that will be saved in the variable A. So you can see the objects that we have, name, and one, yeah, cabin, embarked. So we have 4 objects. Okay, embarked, 4 or 5 columns that has object data type. Okay, so like that we can say a float. You can even try float. So what are the four data type? What are the columns that has float 64 as a data type? You can pick it in the same way. Okay, so those kind of filterings are possible. Maybe we'll try one more. Let's try this. This time we're going to retrieve int 64. Okay, and then pick all the indexes. If you run this, you see passenger ID, survived, P class, B parts, all those are having integer data type. Okay, so index is the method that will help us to work on these kind of. You can simply assign to check, to use the assignment operator to check the data type and use index method, okay, to do these kind of filterings. Now let's see what are the data manipulations that we can do with the column names. Okay. Let's pick the columns embarked and survived. And age. All the 89 rows and the three columns that we have given. Okay, so column name, by using the column name that we can do, that you can see here. And Titanic dot column names. Then numerical data. So how to work with the numerical data, and then we'll see categorical data. So like just to type of filtering by how with the data type you can do the filtering and how with the column name that we can do filtering that we have seen with these two examples. Now let's see how to work with the numerical data type. So the describe, what it will do, it will describe the whole data set. It will pick up the column on which it has 64, integer 64 or float. These are the two types called numerical data types. So it will just pick all the columns which has either integer or floating point. So what it will give, the describe method, what it will give? It will give the information about count, mean, value, standard deviation, minimum and maximum value, 25%, 50%, and 75% of standard deviation value. Okay, in percentage, it will arrange the data set in ascending order and take the 25th of the value 100 records, which is 25%. And then it will take third out of 10 values in 25%. Okay, and then in 50th out of 100 values, it will just give 50%. What is the meaning of this percentile? That's what I'm speaking about. Okay, so first let's try this describe method. Titanic dot describe. Count, mean, standard deviation, min, max, all those values. Categorical data. So the describe method gives the column number which has the object data type, which will provide information on count, unique, frequency, all those values. Let's say that how can we specify the categorical data? All non-numerical data type will be the categorical data, which can be found with the data type object, right? So the Titanic dot data types. The data type of object, let's pick that. So all of them are categorical. So all these column names which is given inside the array are categorical data. Okay, so if you want to check, you can check it. See, all of them are object. It has the object as a data type. Okay, so now let's see how we can get this normal describe method will give the description of the numerical data, right? So what if we apply this describe method only on categorical data? Okay, let's say list cat, maybe cat categorical data, and let's pick this Titanic data types object. Okay, now we're going to use the index and say that in cat. Now let's specify Titanic of cat, only for the cat that we have saved the objects, the non-numerical data type. If we apply the describe method on that, you can see count, unique, top, frequency. How many times this kind of data is that? Unique, how many unique data are there? What are the toply used data types on used values? Okay, and then frequency. Frequency, how many times these values occur? For example, the male that occurred for 577 times. Okay, let's look at that. Name, age, see whether it is true. We have to analyze the full data to analyze this result, but by analytically it says that count, unique values, and toply used values, and how many times it has been used. That is about categorical data. Let's see a few more. We can do the sorting by using the method sorted method. We can do the sorting with the non-numerical data type. Say let's sort the name. Okay, and we cannot pick all, so let's take the first 15 sorted names. First 15. Then the interval 2. See the names with this index values, sorted out values. Okay, if you want this indexing, it's a bit big list. Okay, you can see all the names sorted. All the names in the 891 rows will get sorted like this. Okay, that is about sorted. And the age, let's say the age, which is not a numerical, let's say the age sorting. Organic age. Sorting from 2 to, or some numbers are not available, but you can see of age values are there. If you want to get only a few, first to 10, then you can see there are first to 10 values from the 891 rows. Okay, we can even do this name in the descending order sort. Same sorted method, but in descending order means you can just control it by indexing. -1, you know how we can do the descending order in Python. So now it is ordered in descending things. Okay, so let's just describe. We have described all numerical data. Let's analyze this name alone. Okay, just analyze this name alone by using the describe method. Pythonic name describe. Top value and how many times it occurs. Now, in total statistical information on the name column is given here. Okay, so if you want to retrieve particular columns from the particular row, how can we do that? For example, we want to get the information of the ticket row only on ticket. So we can just give the column name. Okay, and then you can pass the index, the rows. For example, if you start from 4 to 8 means 4 to 8 from the ticket column. How to extract it from particular row and particular column. Okay, so next thing, let's describe it. Always the non-numerical data description will give this kind of information. Okay, so now let's see how to create new columns and how to override the values which is there already in the column. Okay, now we are going to create a new column in the Titanic data set. So use the variable name Titanic, and then you're just going to name the column as new column. New column. And you're assigning the values 1. Okay, let's see Titanic. First 5 values. So we have added a new column with all the values assigned to that, filled with 1. Okay, whatever you have given. So all the rows will be filled with 1. Okay, and let's change. How to change the values? Override the existing value. Very easy. Overwriting the existing value is so simple. Just give that value. How you will assign? The same way you can override the values. Null. Null values. Okay. So P class, let's say how to fetch the, let's see how there is a function called categorical. Okay. Let's say new P class. Let's say P class. P class is nothing but this one. Okay, this one. So we're just going to see how many different classes are there. Okay, for that we're going to use the method called categorical. You see, categorical, the method, Pandas method. So we are using that. Titanic. The column name is P class. Okay, so the name variable name is P class. And sheet 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now what we are going to do, we are going to assign, rename the category. So it's just by default, it just picks the values. Let's assign each of them into a category. So there are 3 types of categories are there in terms of tickets: class 1, class 2, class 3. Let's give a name. Let's rename that values. Okay, how can we do that? Just give the same variable P class. Okay, P class. There is a method called rename categories. Let's use method to rename the categories. Pandas has a method called rename categories that will help us to rename the categories. Class 1, class 2, class 3. Categorical has no attributes. There was a typo error here. I had extra E here. That's why. But yeah, the rename categories method, you can easily, we have changed the category to 1, 2, 3, from 1 to 3 to class 1, class 2, class 3. Okay, so how to check the unique values? How to check the unique values? Let's see that this column has only female and male, so automatically there will be only 2 columns. This will be easy to check whether unique values, right? So let's check the unique method. Use tab. Use tab. Okay, unique. Unique. Okay, unique method. I think it's uppercase. Okay, so male and female, 2 types. Okay, so next what we are going to see, how to extract a character, okay, a particular character from cabin column. So if you look at the cabin column, you can see there are a lot of different characters. Starts with C, and you can see most of them starts with C. Like there are A, B, C, D category. Okay, that particular column has a number attached to that, like alphabetical character with numerical. So we are going to pick that, filter that with this ABC values. Okay, how to do that? So let's say cabin, character in the cabin. Let's say cabin. Okay, you can simply say cabin, not a problem. It's not be the problem. Cabin, Titanic, and uppercase column name cabin, and we're going to see the data type is going to be character. Okay, character data type. Sorry, string. Here we have to say string. String data type. So convert the data into string. Next, new cabin. Okay, creating a new array, np.array, cabin values or zero indexing. We're just creating a loop cabin in the name here, cabin. Okay, so new cabin. Okay, so if we review the code, you can see what I'm doing here. Oh, I don't have the numpy so far. I didn't import the numpy. So let's import numpy. I've done here. It just picks the categories and only, if you recall, you might have done it in the advanced Python class where you can just pick the unique value. So in the category, you're saying that here, typically in this code, what you're saying, you're creating a pool, and if the values are not there in the pool, you're adding it to the pool with the value. For example, A in the empty list, it will not be there, so you're adding it. Next time when you see A is already that, so it will not add it. So next, when it sees P is not there in the list, so it will add it to the list. Like that, it will just pick each alphabetical character, filter it, and pick it and put it. Okay, so that it sees there are 9 categories. There are 9 categories. Okay, next we're going to see the if null option. Okay, so is there anything that doesn't have the age? For example, if you pick the column, if any of the columns that doesn't have the age data, then that will be assigned with not a null, right? How can you pick a not a null thing? We have the method, Python's default method. So is null, that will do the job for us. It's for all the data, but let's say for age, for only one column. Okay, for the only one column, you can see in 888, the value is null, so it says true. Okay. So now what we are going to do, values. We're going to find out number of missing values. Okay, put in the variable numpy, where and all we have Titanic age that has missing values. Okay, is null. As true. You can see the 5th row doesn't have 17, 19. So all these all these rows, or these many number of rows does not have the age information. Okay, so this is how you can find the missing values. So for example, if you want to see it's huge number, right? In 890, around more than 150 and rows does not have age information. So you can simply use the len function to see how many rows are there with missing age. 107, right? So if you want to locate these missing values, it's very simple. How can you locate it? use LOC function to locate it and pass this variable missing. And you can verify for all these rows, the age value is null. Okay, this is missing. Next, let's see one more thing. So in this exercise, in this particular exercise, we just dealt with missing values. Now let's see how to find the statistical information, like who paid the maximum amount for the ticket. Okay, so ticket fare column is here. Maybe we'll analyze that. Who has, like, which column, which row has, or who has paid maximum amount fare? How can we do that? Let's create a variable. Okay, so numpy has using the var function of numpy, and let's pass the variable Titanic. And what is the column that we are interested in? Fare. So in fare, we want to look maximum value. Maximum of what? Maximum of fare. Okay, so Titanic, locate those rows. Locate the name of the person who has paid maximum amount. Seems that the name column is there. I have to specify the index. We have to by using this, but I didn't specify the index value here. I have to pass this variable index. Ford, Anna, Cardaza, Lester. So these three persons with these names have paid maximum amount of fare. Minimum amount of fare, how can we do that? Same thing we can do with the minimum number. Just replace the max method with min method. Okay, and then use the same. But will have paid minimum amount of fare. Let's create a new column. Okay, here you know how to create new columns, very easy. Just add the column in Titanic. We are adding it. If it is there, it will just take it. If it is not there, it will just add. So it's very easy here. Adding new columns. Okay, what we're going to do with this column, Titanic. We have, do you see these two? This one, SIB, SP. Let's combine these two. Okay, how can we do the how can we combine these values? Yes, IB, yes, E. Arithmetic addition, what it does. Titanic. Watch. Okay, so you can see after combining the values, we are creating a new family by adding these two values. Okay, so new column. Let's see what is the new data set. After adding this family column, how it looks like. You can see 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 2, 3. We see addition. After addition, the added value will be saved in a particular row for the family column that we have just created. Okay, so based on that, what is the maximum number of family that? Let's do that. Family 1. Okay, numpy var Titanic, maximum number of family based on the family members. assigning with of max of Titanic family okay. Let's retrieve those values. Titanic family 1. Oh, all right. Family key. Oh, sorry, I have to use the location. LOs. I have to locate the value. I have to do it through the location method to locate the values which has the maximum number. You can see 10 values. Okay, 10. Okay, so I think that's it about analyzing the data set. A very simple exercise. So your homework is something related to that. So see you in the next module, module 8. Okay, data cleaning. Thank you.